Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 Winter Commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College. Mace is faculty member, American Federation of Teachers, Local 212 President, and Grand Marshal Dr. Lisa Connolly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the candidates for graduation now entering the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, MATC's distinguished faculty and staff members. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, the distinguished commencement platform party, MATC deans, members of the President's Council, district board members, our student commencement speaker, Erica Cunningham, our outstanding adult high school graduate, Tina Stone, our keynote speaker, Denise Thomas, and MATC President, Dr. Vicki J. Martin.
President Martin, the candidates are now assembled.
Welcome to Milwaukee Area Technical College's 2021 Winter Commencement. I am Dr. Vicki J. Martin, the proud president of MATC. Candidates for graduation, we are excited to celebrate your success for our first in-person commencement in 2 years. You are the reason we are here. Although you have faced challenging times, especially these past 2 years, you have demonstrated resilience and commitment to your career and life goals by finishing your program of study. And you did this while balancing college with work, completing coursework while caring for family, or being the first person in your family to attend college. You may have had technology or financial challenges along the way, but you are the ones who made it happen. So, I invite you to take in what is happening around you right now, and also take this opportunity to recall how you arrived at this moment. Reflect on all that you have achieved. Remember how your family, friends, classmates, or college employees helped and supported you when you needed them the most. Recognize and appreciate your resilience. Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa, once said, Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. As a first-generation student, I can say confidently that I also fell down and learned how to get back up again. It's not easy, and as you know, it also takes courage to try again and learn from experience. I imagine that is true for many of you who are with us today. Yet you got back up, you persevered. You confirmed the power you have to transform your life for the better. You learned that you have the power over the narrative of your life and your future. Now, as you walk across the stage, you have earned a credential that tells you, tells employers, and tells four-year universities that you are ready for what comes next, whatever path you choose. As you take that next step, please stay connected to us and through the MATC Alumni Network and share your accomplishments. Thank you for choosing this college as your partner in improving your life and our shared community through education. Along with your fellow students and MATC's employees, I know you will use your new skills to achieve greater success and happiness. In accordance with custom and tradition, I hereby declare the winter 2021 commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College open. Please stand for the national anthem sung by the MATC Music Occupations Vocal Ensemble.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the guns bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in thanking the music occupation students, alumni, and faculty for their outstanding performance this evening. I am Dr. Nadine Gonzalez de Jesus, MATC's Executive Vice President of Student Success. This graduating class includes more than 600 associate degree, technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school diploma candidates. We also are recognizing 21 candidates for graduation who have served our country in the U.S. military. These veterans received a red, white, and blue cord from the college. Thank you all for serving our country. will be proud to call you alumni and owe you our sincere gratitude. At our commencement ceremonies, we hear from a student who can impart the wisdom that only a peer can provide to fellow students. This winter, that student is Erica Cunningham. She was valedictorian of her MPS high school class in 2016 and joined MATC as a first-generation college student like so many of you. She has served as a member of the Student Government Association, a member of the Student Voice Committee for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and she is the president of our Black Student Union. Erica is a candidate for the Human Service Associate degree and has earned a 3.5 cumulative GPA. She plans to transfer to the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater to earn a Bachelor of Science in Social Work with a goal to be a family and adolescent therapist right here in the city of Milwaukee. Erica shared that she chose Human Services and Social Work because she aspires to help family and children work through mental health disorders and trauma. She explained she, quote, wants them to know they're not alone and it's okay to ask for help, end quote. Her instructors recommended her to speak with you, and one described her as a dedicated, extraordinary, diligent, and tenacious student who set very, very high standards for herself. It's truly my pleasure to introduce you to Ms. Erica Cunningham.
Good evening, dear faculty, staff, administration, family, friends, and the class of 2021 graduates. My name is Erica Cunningham. I'm a human service major, and I'm very honored to be the student speaker for the 2021 winter graduation ceremony. I admit that writing this speech was almost as challenging as my role as a Black Student Union president. And believe me, I never would have thought anything would have been as challenging as that. Yet here I stand, hoping my speech is reflective, funny, inspirational, and worthy of addressing such a tremendous class. Ladies and gentlemen of the 2021 class, look around. In a time of division, broken values, and dangerous uncertainties, I dare to cause you to realize the holistic beauty of this moment. It was only 4 years ago when the Me Too hashtag went viral and opened the eyes of the world to the magnitude of sexual violence. It was only 2 years ago when the cruel and relentless outbreak of COVID-19 caused the world to stop, hold its breath, while humanity wrestled with its fate. It was only a little more than a year ago when the brutal murder of George Floyd sparked a worldwide protest against racism and social injustice, Finally, it was less than a year ago when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle quit the royal family, Kobe Bryant took his basketball and went home, Donald Trump faced impeachment, the stock market crashed, and murder hornets arrived in the USA. Yet we have overcome all of these sad and devastating times. Here you are staring back at me with pride in your eyes, hope in your hearts, and plans for future glory in minds. This is how we know that you're special. This is how we know that you're dedicated. This is how we know that you're present. Take a moment to congratulate yourselves on these accomplishments. Now, let's talk about that word persistence for a moment. In life, persistence is considered the personal trait of someone who works hard to complete a task or a challenge. In higher education, persistence reflects a student's ability to continue from one semester to the next. If you combine the two definitions, persistence is the personality trait of a student who works hard, trying over and over again to continue from one semester to the next. until the goal of graduation has been met. Graduates, while I've spent the last several moments focusing on what we have endured for the past few years, I'd like to take a moment. Close your eyes, think about your personal journeys, and reflect on everything it took for you to arrive to this very moment. Remember the faculty and staff who remained in your corner when you were ready to quit. Remember the countless motivational speeches you might have heard from family and friends when assignments were due and babies were crying, money was short, and rent was due. Or perhaps an important relationship had gone south. Thinking of these things make me want to thank a few people. First, I thank God for being my greatest source of peace and support when times were difficult and unbearable. Sorry. To my dear mother, thank you for the support and ongoing love. I know this was not easy for you, having to be there for the countless phone calls and worries about my college experience. You could have given up on me, but you didn't. And I'm grateful. Sorry. To my mentors, Ms. Brooks and Mr. Hayden, thank you for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. Thank you for being right there, helping me to be better for myself and my community. To Kelsey, Lawrence, Ms. Tanner, and Otis, thank you for being great coworkers, listeners, and helpers during this past year. Lastly, I want to express my gratitude to my ancestors and the countless Black men and women who died so I may have this opportunity. Thank you. Without your sacrifice, this would not be possible. To my fellow graduates, take this opportunity to thank those past and present who inspired your ambitious pursuit of education and got you to this moment with a round of applause. Yes, persistence have brought you this far. However, persistence alone won't be enough to elevate you from here. Being humble, focused, and caring more about the finished work more than who gets the credit will do a lot more to move you and humanity. Remember this on your next path. Be sure to hold tight to your principles and values. Keep your moral ground high and your temper low, allowing empathy and understanding to act as a guide for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and as the antidote to prejudice, knowing that nothing will replace your persistence and courage in the face of adversity. American writer Hubert Hoffman once said, "Failure is only postponed success as long as courage coaches ambition. The habit of persistence is the habit of victory." Therefore, wherever you go, I encourage us all to courageously live and pursue our dreams while humbly pressing through whatever situations life may throw at us. Allowing our no retreat, no surrender attitude makes us stronger, wiser, increasingly motivated, humble, experienced, hopeful, and more satisfied than ever. Congratulations.
Thank you, Erica Cunningham, for sharing your words and your heart with us. We appreciate your recognition of all our students have overcome and your message of courage and character. Now, we're grateful to have a keynote speaker who will share her life experiences and advice at this important milestone on the journey of your lives. Denise Thomas brings 19 years of experience within Fortune 500 companies, including PepsiCo, General Electric, and Miller Coors, to her role as president and owner of the Effective Communication Coach. She focuses on transforming emerging and existing professionals into extraordinary leaders, and she has brought her message of effective communication around the world, including in Egypt, China, and Israel. Ms. Thomas has been recognized as a 2021 Disruptor by the Greater Milwaukee Women's Fund and a 2021 Rising Star by the African American Chamber of Commerce. She is a 4-time winner of the Milwaukee Business Journal's Power Broker recognition and was recognized as a Woman of Influence by that publication in 2019. Ms. Thomas is a lead facilitator at St. Norbert's College's Leadership Center and a leadership instructor at Cardinal Stritch University. She serves on nonprofit boards including Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin, the Milwaukee Ballet, Temple Milwaukee, and the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. She is a graduate of Cardinal Stritch University in Business Management and the proud mother of 2 future leaders. We are honored to have her address this group of future leaders today. Please welcome Ms. Denise Thomas.
What's up, MATC? Milwaukee area technical college graduates, what's up? Or y'all thought I was gonna come up here and be all formal and proper? Listen, first of all, let me just say this. Thank each of you, distinguished faculty and staff members, for inviting me. This is such a distinguished honor, and I appreciate you believing in me to pour into these incredible leaders. What's up, family? How y'all doing? You know, I've heard some family members, you always have that auntie and uncle, amen, yes, speak to it. Somebody was talking about rent. One of the aunties was like, I know that's right. So I have about 5 to 7 minutes, and I want to take this time first, again, to sincerely congratulate each of you, and I hope that you are celebrating this accomplishment. I do not stand here in front of you based on the accolades that you heard from my bio. I stand in front of you today as a little black girl from Evansville, Indiana, who became a mother twice before the age of 21. And I share that with you because many of us that are graduating today, based on the color of our skin, based on our gender, based on the neighborhood that we grew up in, we're told, you can't be great. And so, as I stand before you as a little black girl from Evansville, Indiana, I also stand in front of you as a great, successful black woman who runs her own business, who is pouring back into her community, who would not be here without the same love that each of you are receiving from your family and friends. And let me tell you, I could not be more proud of each of you because when I graduated there was no COVID. Technology worked perfectly. I didn't have to make the decision that many of you in this room had to make, and you did it. Now let me say this to you. You're not losing control. Commencement means the beginning or the start. So I want each of you to think about, now that you've accomplished this greatness, what are you going to do now? Your mindset is everything. And we all know that for many of us, constantly hearing, no, you can't be great. No, you can't do that. That's not designed for you. And yet you sit here with these beautiful, distinguished cap and gowns. You cannot tell me that you are not great. Your why, it will never change. Your how, in terms of how you demonstrate your why, it might change, but your why, never. So everyone, when you hear me, I want you to understand this. Stay ready. Are y'all with me? Also, your identity, who you are, the person that you are today, own that. Are you with me? Because society is going to tell you if you don't look a certain way, if you didn't graduate from a certain college, you can't be great. And yet here we are again in our what? Greatness. There's going to be people that tell you it's all about who you know. It's all about all the likes that you receive. No. It's about making sure that people know who you are and how great you are. Are you with me? Build meaningful relationships with people that believe in your greatness. Because in the words of the great Dr. Seuss, the people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. So if you cannot appreciate all of this MATC greatness, peace out. I wish you the best. Know what matters to you. Now remember, there's been a lot of sacrifices that you've made. There's been a lot of sacrifices that your friends and your family that are here have made so that you can be here. And I ask that each of you do not get consumed by the problems, but get consumed with the possibilities. Because that is what I thrive on every day. Remove the barriers. Y'all know what I mean. Some of you need to take your smartphones out right now and start deleting and blocking. If they do not pour into your success, they don't allow access to your greatness. I know I gotta close. I could literally stand in front of y'all till midnight because I'm so excited and proud, but I'm going, as we say in the church, I'm gonna close. How come when they say that, they never do close? I'm gonna close. Thank you. Told you, take your time, I love it. Now let me also say this to each of you. Life, are y'all with me? Life gives to the givers and takes from the takers. So in every decision that you're making, especially as it relates to you now being MATC alumni, think about how you're going to give back. Know your worth. When someone tries to tell you that you're worth $50,000, you tell them they missing a zero. Know your worth. You're MATC graduate. The price just went up. Make sure that you demonstrate your bossness every day. Did you hear what I said? You demonstrate your bossness not just through your actions, not just through your social media posts, but you demonstrate it. When you walk into a room, you appear like the boss that you are. You are an MATC graduate. And you make sure that you, at this moment, turn around, just look at everybody. You're surrounded by bosses. Get used to it. If you're not a boss, I'll call you when I can call you. I'm an MATC graduate. The price just went up. And finally, I want each of you to, every morning when you wake up, visualize the possibilities within yourself, because all these friends and family that have poured into you, they want their money back. And someone said, and interest. I know that's right, Auntie. And never, never, ever leave home without humility. without empathy, without love. And I promise you, as this person who grew up in Evansville, Indiana, and was told, you're a single mother, your life is over, and those same people now are calling me asking for tickets to the show. Believe in yourself. You come from greatness. Congratulations, MATC 2021 graduates. I believe in you. They believe in you. Now go believe in yourself and do the work. Let's do this.
That was great. Let's give Ms. Thomas one more time a round of applause here. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. We are grateful for your inspirational words as we celebrate. I'm Dr. Mohammed Dakwar, Vice President of Learning, along with Lisa Conley, an MATC faculty member and the President of AFT Local 212. It gives me a great honor to congratulate all of our candidates for graduation.
Thank you, Dr. Dakwar. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Milwaukee Area Technical College, we are pleased to call forward MATC's Pathway Deans, who will present their candidates.
Thank you, Dr. Conley. Then, the moment we're all excited for, our associate degree, technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school candidates for graduation. Finally, and most importantly, President Dr. Vicki Martin will confer their degrees.
Hello, I am Carl Meredith, the Dean of the Business and Management Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all of the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
I'm Dr. Brian Stout, Dean of the Community and Human Services Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for Associate of Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are ready to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good evening. I am Dr. Brian Carlson, Dean of the Creative Arts, Design, and Media Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good evening. I am Dr. Sadiq Isahaku, Dean of the General Education Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present candidates for the degree of Associate of Arts degree of Associate of Science, degree of Associate in Applied Science, and adult high school diploma. These candidates have met all requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good evening. I am Dr. Kelly Drees, Dean of the Healthcare Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good evening. I'm Becky Alsop, Dean of the Manufacturing, Construction, and Transportation Pathway, and I'm pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all of the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good evening. I am Dr. Kamala Goodwin, Dean of the STEM Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
At this time, candidates will be individually recognized and presented with their degrees, diplomas here on stage. After the candidates receive their degree or diploma, they will return to their seats. When all the candidates are reseated, MATC President Dr. Martin will officially confer the degrees and diplomas. Marshals and ushers, please direct the candidates to the stage. The rest of the candidates may be seated.
He'll come up, he'll give you his card, he'll come up, and then you just say it. Okay.
Ryan Edward Antros. Heather Borey. Jada Carreros. Jose Carrasco. Christina Gimza. Andrew Michael Johnson. Catherine Lodgson. Andrew Joseph Sharon. Zenaida Delvivia. Joseph Nagorski. Z Vang. Lana Sayacek. Jenny Yer Yang. Alyssa Lopez. Dominique Deanna Robinson. Kenneth Wiltsius. Hi. Suhaib Badwan. Thank you. Aaron Bent. Mina Biami Jackson. Morgana Bright. April Cunningham. Kiara Cunningham. Thank you. Alexis Griffin. Junior, you don't have the G? Corey Lee Jr. Daniel Madrigal. Kiara Sanders. Janelle Marie Schrader. Katia Smith. Quintella Walker. Simone Morris. Michelle Murphy. Michelle Weckerly. Melchizedek Hernandez. Armani Howard. Latera Fashe. Kiera Grant. Elizabeth Narvaez. Ashley Putnam. Congratulations. Jessica Radke. Catherine Rico. Artiska Somerville. Michaela Faskel. Vitani Orboneta. Aaron Lawver. Tiffany Mosby. Stephanie Nagel. Sarah Jane Ramilo. Shatoria Harris. Santeria Hutcherson.
Muhammad Yaqub.
Yaqub? Muhammad Yaqub. Congratulations. Thank you. Liliana E. Galvan. Congratulations.
Baltasar Perez Jr.
What's the last one?
Junior.
Junior.
Baltasar Perez Jr.
Baltasar Perez Jr.
Nyla Feroz. Catherine Glowinski. Michaela Zayler. Marvelous Morgan.
Say my name, say my name.
Jacqueline Edna Redding. Michaela Bowden. Shartiera Hudson. Barbara Montano? Barbara Montano. Wisdom Hendry. Jamie Rogers. Renee Harris. Jasmine Rodriguez. Ayana Rogers.
Sean Darnell Salee.
Sean Darnell Salee. Brenija Vaughn. Antonia Winters. Aaliyah Bradley. Emily Cheever. Deshanta Cooper. Judith M. Delgado. Demetra Elam. Michael Detloff. Kimberly M. Bartz. Paige Okray. Jamie Harden. Joanna Jones. Sheena White. Rachel Renee Kearney. Nubia Navarro. Shataja Sanders. Sebastian Worm. Charles Hampton. Felicia Washington. Selena Alexander. Jose Hernandez. Paloma Soto. Bethany, excuse me, Bethany Blanchard. Natalie Edwards. Coming to the stage. Renee Williams. Mariah John. Edric Funk. Mahuba Hammett. Christy Anderson. Sophia Wazak. David Tate Jr. Erica Serenity Cunningham. Shira Johnson. Jennifer Miller Rogers. Tiffany Morgan. Asili Muhima. Pauke Paul. Muyu Paul. Cynthia Perkins. Kenyetta Scott. Kayla Ross.
There'll be a junior at the end. Okay.
Courtney Thornton Jr. Janine L. Jackson. Mykela Blake. Rebecca Presley. Samantha Clark. Angela Nicole Gonzalez. Nicole Hernandez. Erica Peterson. Aja Davison. Samantha Olds. Sade Yvonne Taylor. Melissa Palachek Ryan.
Esmariah Giselle Ashik.
Esmariah Giselle Ashik. Leland Pitt. Catherine Maria Seehofer. Adrian Joel Guzman. Elena Pintor. Adina Fraction Banks. Emmy Benz. Lynetta Helm. Lajira Mahari. Nia Graves.
Okay, so it's a long list. Kaylee, Yvonne, Ariane, England Brown. Or you just put Kaylee, Yvonne, so Kaylee, Yvonne, England Brown.
Kaylee Yvonne Aranglin Brown.
I'm sorry.
Bianca Cabral. Melissa Norman. Marquia Perkins. Cecilia Dorsey. Lee Simmons. Sierra Dakota Rogers Dreffel. Ernestine Moss. Kayla Mims. Cameron Settler. Tia Robinson. Marquita Walker. Jarena Thayoni. Anthony Fonase. Rotanya Sanders. Devaney Danahayaka. James Edwards.
Leo Elliott.
Leo Elliott. Martin Esparza. Victor Koval.
Sierra Gardner. Andrea Garcia. Graciela Jimenez. Francesca Martin. Anna Elizabeth Langheim.
Miguel Munoz.
Miguel Munoz.
Just Matthew Schwark, no middle name.
All right.
Thank you.
Matthew Schwark. Juan Molina Morales. Shanoa Gad.
Philip Robertson.
Thank you. Philip Robertson. Thank you. Rhonda Powell. Charlotte Mosley. Thank you. Tina Stone. Thank you. Moesha Taylor. Congratulations. Thank you. Diamond Izzard. Mohammed El-Hamadat.
Kelsey Sandria Lampkins.
You want middle name?
The whole name.
Kelsey Sandria Lampkins. My brother Ahmed Omari. Basim Al-Qanbar. Shalamik Nobles. Kelsey Lewin. Congratulations. Paul Gill. Nicholas Paul Gill. Congratulations. Alexandra Lynn Gill. Congratulations. Malika Powell. Congratulations. Jasmine or Hasmine? Jasmine. Jasmine Sisteco. Congratulations. Demarion Sanders. Congratulations. Brian Smith. Congratulations. Hattie Shanice Hines. Congratulations. Michelle Denise Cooper. Carlita Jenkins Brown. Congratulations. What's your name? Farsi. Marcus Farsi. Okay, thank you. Chong Her. Kiran Shantial. Sierra Jones. Aaron Adricula. Do you want Jenny? Jenny Workmeister. Bridget Gorgie. Ashley Lizowski. Latanya Kendrick Smith. Nina Harwell. Congratulations. Jennifer Kirk. Congratulations. Lainey Hoagland. Denoris Beal. Thank you. What's your name? Suniga. Jalixa Suniga. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Ashley Ann Shainaman. Congratulations. Caitlin Pennenberg. Jillian Bridget Rose Hours. Congratulations. Haley May. Congratulations. Sophia Rose, though? Sophia Rose Maycheck. Morgan Lackey. Natanisha Karuna. Congratulations. Eva Happy. Congratulations. Bridget Marie Hager? Yep, Hager. Bridget Marie Hager. Congratulations. Katie Hayes? Katie Hayes. Congratulations. Haldeman? Melissa Nicole Haldeman. Camila Guadalupe Garcia. Congratulations. Thank you. Brianna Conrad. Congratulations. You don't have to say that. Okay. Emily Christensen. Congratulations. Angelica Maurilia Camacho. Congratulations. Marie Brunsel. Stephanie Marie Brunzel. Congratulations. Thank you. Elizabeth Grace Balistrieri. Congratulations. Hidayah Muhammad Abujad. Congratulations. Dorian Crockett. Dorian Crockett. Congratulations. Is it Bynum? Yes. James Stephen Bynum. Congratulations. Catherine Salgado. Congratulations. Alyssa Anderson. Congratulations. Yadira Lara. Congratulations. Do you want just Jacqueline Sandoval? You can say the whole name. Jacqueline Sandoval Hernandez. Congratulations. Susan Lent. Alyssa Keith. Congratulations. Charlena Rushing. Congratulations. Is it Antoinette? Grace Antoinette Hudson. Congratulations. Arjun Bahadur Adhikari. Judith Cuevas. Congratulations. Priscilla Alva. Congratulations. Erica Ramahi. Congratulations. Shazania Owens. Sorry. Shanika Jahana O'Neill. Alicia Lemoyne. Sean Walsh Reinders. Benjamin Madkey. Julia Katz. Jordan Jandren. Andy Michael Brand. Christine Bradby. Aicha Kaya. Metasabia Lelisa.
Veronica Witz.
Veronica Witz. Joshua Whitty. Christina Sofich. Nigeria Smith Beckham. Alyssa Lopez. Daniel Kemp. Natalie Edge Krieger. Candace Coleman. Stacy Michelle Carter. Dina De La Torre. Joshua Webler. Christopher Villa. Guadalupe Rodriguez.
Last name is Quintana.
Is it Priscilla Quintana. Samantha Bardales. Mary Margaret Lowe. Sayed Askari.
Can you not say my middle name, please?
Dania Abdul Ghani. Carly Schmittner. Amanda Neldner. Crystal Brown. Sarita Dorsey. Glorimar Berry. Nicholas Mayucci. Javier Emilio Manso. I couldn't get them to go back inside.
They're in order for the pictures to start the new one.
Shemaya Saladin. Nina Marie Sincere. Brittany Kilpakowski. Jasmine Jones. Brittany Hornby. Andrea Jean Guidon.
Thank you. You could just say Vita.
Vita Brown?
Yeah.
Vita Brown.
Congratulations.
Dominica Thompson. Brittany Wilcox. Congratulations. I'm unique?
Yes.
I'm unique triplet.
Congratulations.
Swan.
Yes.
Erica Swan. Crystal Marie Sanford. Allison Grace Rockmore. Congratulations. Ebony? Ebony Danielle Rogers. Ana Marissa Rodriguez. Cleopatra Jones. LaCressa Renee Neal. Samantha Bradley Myrick. Issa Lee Machikoti. Latoya Martin. Kiki Brumfield. Congratulations. Camelia Hardnett.
Different pathway. It's a new pathway. It's a new pathway.
Carla Nelson. Jamie Fackler. Brianna Zenda. Francisco Garcia. Michael Carey. Alejandro Barba. Shavita Taylor. Miguel Angel Pantoja. Aliana Long. Maxwell Larson. Harris. Elijah Harris. Ray Medina. Stephanie Ingberg. Garrett Bolt. Edwin Gonzalez. Shalia Fryer. James Rivera. Michelle Waterman. Dylan Carter. Jonathan Tucker. Christopher Strock. Timothy Young. Emery Richardson. Apollo Bates. Dennis Exler. Nathan Harari. Tan V. Dang. D'Angelo Stewart. Gage Ozick. Maria Atley. Angelica Jackson.
Will the candidates please rise? Now, by the authority vested in me by the Milwaukee Area Technical College District Board of Directors, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree or diploma for which you have been certified. Graduates, you may now move the tassels of your caps from the right side to the left. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Area Technical College Winter Class of 2021. To our speakers, thank you for your time and your wisdom. To our guests joining us tonight, thank you for all being here to mark this important moment in our graduates' lives. To our newest alumni, on behalf of the entire MATC family, we wish you success in the workforce and as lifelong learners. Congratulations. I now ask our Grand Marshal, Dr. Lisa Conley, and our marshals to please take your positions and prepare to lead the Milwaukee Area Technical College Class of 2021 from the arena. Students, please follow the marshals in order to exit the arena. Family and friends in attendance, please remain in your seats until the candidates have processed out of the arena. The Winter 2021 commencement ceremony is officially concluded. Good night.